Adenohypophysis and its hormones. Adenohypophysis is the larger part of pituitary gland which produces around 5 hormones. Adenohypophysis is also called as the anterior lobe. The posterior lobe, then this is the anterior lobe. This is posterior lobe or neurohypophysis, and this one is the anterior lobe. Adenohypophysis. Adenohypophysis is the larger lobe of pituitary gland. The neurohypophysis, the adenohypophysis. This is anterior lobe, also called as adenohypophysis, and this one is the posterior lobe, also called as a neurohypophysis. It is highly vascular and cellular part of the pituitary gland. Highly vascular means it has got large number of blood capillaries as well as it has got large number of cells also. It contains various types of epithelioid cells. Epithelioid cells are there, and the cells are of two types. One is chromophobes and the other one is called as chromophils. The various types of cells in the adenohypophysis are called as chromophobes, or they are also called as chromophils. The chromophils are acidophils and basophils, which are secretory. Actually, it is the chromophils that produces the hormones, and chromophils are of two types. One is called acidophils and basophils. It is this acidophils and basophil that produces the hormones. That is why they are called as secretory in function. It is differentiated into three parts, like pars distalis, pars intermedia and pars tuberalis, which we have already discussed. That is, I have drawn the neurohypophysis. Now of the adenohypophysis or the anterior lobe coming. This is pars distalis, this one is pars tuberalis, tube like part, and this one is the pars intermedia. So adenohypophysis has got three parts. One is pars distalis, pars tuberalis and pars intermedia, the three parts of anterior lobe. The first hormone is called as somatotropin, somatotropic hormone, also called as a growth hormone or GH. Somatotropin, somatotropic hormone, STH or growth hormone or GH. This hormone stimulates growth and development of tissues by accelerating protein synthesis and cell division. For normal body growth, this hormone is essential. It brings about normal body growth by cell division, tissue formation and protein synthesis. highest secretion of growth hormone is seen till puberty, and then its secretion becomes low. Till the age of 13 to 18, the amount of growth hormone production is more. After that, this hormone is produced, but the hormone production is comparatively low in amount. However, it is continuously secreted throughout the life for repair and replacement of damaged body cells and tissues. This hormone is produced throughout the life, but after puberty, the hormone is mainly used for repairing the tissues as well as cells of the body. That was the first hormone called as growth hormone. Hyposecretion. Suppose if growth hormone is produced in lesser quantity in children, it results in a condition called as pituitary dwarfism, where the child shows stunted physical growth. That means the growth of the child will be less than his age. If the child is of 16 or 17 years old, height of the child will be equal to the age of 6 to 7 years. That condition is called as pituitary dwarfism, and it is mainly due to the lesser production of growth hormone in childhood. If growth hormone is produced in greater quantity in childhood, the child can attain a height more than 6 feet, and he may has got that much body weight also, resulting in a condition called as gigantism and formation of what? Giants. If hormone is produced in greater quantity, it results in individual of height more than 6 feet and that much body weight, resulting in giants. Condition is called as gigantism. Hypersecretion of STH in middle-aged adults. If it is produced in greater quantity in middle-aged adults, it results in a condition called as acromegaly. It results in disproportionate growth causing disfigurement and enlargement of bones of nose, lower jaw, hands, fingers, feet, etc. That means if the amount growth hormone is produced in greater quantity in middle-aged individual, that results in disproportionate body growth. That means all other part of the body is growing normally, but they will have a massive jaws. All other part of the body is growing normally, but they will have a larger nose. All other part of the body is growing normally, but their forelimbs will be longer than their hind limbs, giving a gorilla-like appearance. This all condition together, symptoms together, comes under acromegaly. Second hormone is called as thyroid stimulating hormone or thyrotropin or TSH. This hormone stimulates thyroid gland so that thyroid gland can secrete thyroxine. TSH produced by the pituitary gland will stimulate thyroid gland so that the thyroid gland will be able to produce the one thyroxine. That is TSH. TSH will influence thyroid gland so that the thyroid gland will be able to produce hormone called as one thyroxine. And of course, thyroid stimulating hormone is produced by the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland produces thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates thyroid gland so that the thyroid gland will be able to produce one thyroxine. That is the second important hormone of the adenohypophysis. The third important hormone is called as adrenocorticotropic hormone or ACTH. Adrenotropin is another name. This hormone stimulates cortex of adrenal gland. ACTH will stimulate adrenal cortex so that adrenal cortex will be able to secrete glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. ACTH will influence adrenal gland so that adrenal gland will be able to produce glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. And of course, ACTH is produced by the adenohypophysis of the pituitary gland. So that is the third important hormone. The fourth one is called as prolactin or mammotropin. This hormone activates the growth of mammary glands. during pregnancy and production of milk after delivery. This in human females, this hormone is very essential for the development of mammary glands during the time of pregnancy and production of milk after delivery. This hormone helps to maintain corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone. Another important one, it is essential to maintain corpus luteum so that the corpus luteum will be able to produce one progesterone. It reduces the chance of pregnancy during lactation. When the mother is feeding the baby, prolactin will be there in her blood. That prolactin will support, or the prolactin will stimulate corpus luteum to keep on secreting progesterone. Because of progesterone, mother will be able to avoid the next pregnancy when she is feeding her first baby. Gonadotropins. The gonads are testis and ovary are the gonads, of which the first gonadotropic hormone is follicle stimulating hormone. It stimulates, this hormone stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles in human females, and in human males it is essential for the development of seminiferous tubule and production of sperms. In human female, it stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles, so that ovarian follicle contains ovum, and it also essential for the development of seminiferous tubules in human male. Important: follicle stimulating hormone, ovarian follicles in females, and production of ovum. And in human male, it is essential for the development of seminiferous tubules and production of spermatozoans or sperms. Next hormone is called as luteinizing hormone, or LH. In human female, LH helps in ovulation, discharge of ovum from graphene follicle. FSH and LH are responsible for stimulation of ovaries to produce estrogen, while LH is essential for the development of corpus luteum and production of progesterone. FSH is essential for the development of follicles and production of hormone called as estrogen, while LH is essential for the development of graphene follicle, and graphene follicle after ovulation becomes corpus luteum, and corpus luteum is essential for the production of hormone called as progesterone. That is, pituitary gland secretes hormone called as LH. LH is essential for the development of ovarian follicles to graphene follicle. Graphene follicle after ovulation becomes corpus luteum. After releasing ovum, it becomes corpus luteum, and corpus luteum secretes hormone called as progesterone. That is, pituitary gland secretes hormone called as LH. LH acts on ovarian follicles. Ovarian follicle can become graphene follicle. Graphene follicle releases ovum and becomes corpus luteum. Corpus luteum will produce hormone called as a progesterone. Next hormone is interstitial cell stimulating hormone. This is a rough diagram of TS of testis. These are seminiferous tubules. seminiferous tubule which produces the sperms. While this group of cells are called as the interstitial cells. They are called as interstitial cells, and it is the interstitial cells that produce a hormone called as the testosterone. So that is the point. In human male, this hormone stimulates testis. This hormone means ICSH. Testis to produce androgen called as testosterone. And testosterone is responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters. Testosterone is essential for the development of secondary sexual characters. Interstitial cells are the cells which are present in between the seminiferous tubules, and interstitial cells produce interstitial cells secrete hormone called as the testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for the development of secondary sexual characters. Then pars intermedia, as we know, this is the neurohypophysis, adenohypophysis, and this portion will be the pars intermedia. Pars intermedia will be there, but it is closely arranged. They are closely placed. Don't think that there is much gap between them. They are so close to each other. This portion is the pars intermedia. It is poorly developed in human beings. Pars intermedia secretes a hormone called as melanocyte stimulating hormone in some lower vertebrates. MSH stimulates the dispersion of melanin granules in melanocytes and is responsible for skin pigmentation. In human being, this hormone is responsible for skin pigmentation. Skin pigmentation is due to the presence of pigments called as melanin, and that pigments melanin is present in melanocyte, and the dispersion, the rearrangement of melanin pigments is under the influence of the hormone called as a melanocyte stimulating hormone. So our skin complexion, whether it is fair or it is dark, that is because of the dispersion of the melanin pigments present in melanin granules of the skin cells, and the dispersion is controlled by an enzyme called as MSH. MSH is produced by pituitary gland, but it is secreted by pars intermedia. Okay, that is adenohypophysis and its hormones.